Alright, so hello everyone and welcome back to Unmatched Matchup Monday. This is a series where I will look at a single matchup that you guys suggested and voted for in my community tab on every single Monday, and we'll try to analyze that from one of the characters' point of view and still make comments on the other one's type of playstyle and what he typically wants to do. Um, this time, you guys voted for the Little Red versus Nikola Tesla matchup, which is a really cool one. Of course, both of them are some of my favorite fighters, Little Red being my main that I probably played the most of. Um, just overall, it's a really fun matchup, a really dynamic one as well. And just before we jump into the gameplay and talk about like opening hands and stuff, I just want to give a brief overview of like what the matchup is usually about. Of course, Tesla always has to manage his coils, so there's always a bit of playing around that on the red side. If he has two coils, you probably have to watch out a bit. If he has no coils, well, you can probably go a bit more on the aggressive side. But that's the basic stuff. Same for Tesla. He always has to play around Little Red's coils. And well, not Little Red's calls, Little Red's symbols, and what she has up on the basket. But that's again the basic stuff. Um, some more nuanced things. Um, I think this matchup in particular is all about tempo. So what I mean by that is who can actually force the opponent back. Um, because of course, if the red, for example, draws a lot of cards with the wolf's skin, and then can pressure Tesla after he used his two coils on offense and only recharged one back, he will be in this wonderful cycle of having to spend that one coil on defense usually, or take a lot of damage. Then he double maneuvers away, gets one coil back, she red attacks again. He has to spend the coil on defense or take a lot of damage, and that repeats until he finds a way to break out of that. On the other hand, if Tesla actually gets the upper hand and can draw a lot with maybe intense experimentation, it will be more of the other way around, where Red will constantly struggle to align her symbols because Tesla's just attacking so often and aggressing so much. So it's a really cool one, and it's all about knowing when to draw your cards, when to go in the at the proper time and put up a lot of aggression just to make the other one, to force the other one to suboptimally use their cards. And I really like it. Um, I would say overall, just from the feel of it, we played 4 games, just to see. Um, this is the first one, and all the other ones after that went way crazier, and this is already like not an orthodox game, I would say. So all 4 games of that Little Red one, I would say Little Red is slightly favored in this matchup, but not as much. Tesla can of course always do things. He has the tools, and we'll explain them when we get to the special interactions. All right, so that was a bit too fast for me. Um, so let's talk about let's talk about the opening hand. Um, so from the red side, of course, what I want to see mainly is, first of all, Huntsman defenses, because Huntsman has to stay alive in this matchup for multiple reasons. The sixes are really good to put up pressure against Tesla to deal him some good early damage. On the other hand, I also want, of course, the healing for the occasion that Red takes some damage herself, so I can heal back up. And also to have that second body on the board to block at some point, which could be really crucial. As we can see, I have one of the sixes right now in hand, but nothing to defend with, and, well, Tesla is going first, and we're playing on Sarpedon. It's a map that we chose because, well, Tesla, in this case, going first, which is probably, I think this case is like the preferred option for both fighters because Little Red wants to go second and Tesla wants to go first, so that Tesla gets his two coils up early, and Little Red doesn't waste her symbol in the basket just by maneuver boosting. Um, and of course, since we're playing on Sarpedon, Tesla can attack on the first turn. He can just maneuver into the pink yellowish zone or just a pink and attack any of my fighters. So I as red definitely have to have some kind of defense for Huntsman because even with only one coil, Tesla is still scary. He could play the 7 Hertz to gain an action, then fully charge again to 2 coils and smack Huntsman with 7, that's like 11 damage in one turn if I don't defend. So Huntsman could be dead turn 1 if I don't defend. So just from looking at this, also the other cards, I have 3 printed 4s that like don't do anything symbol-wise. So it's not the greatest starting hand for me, so I will decide to mulligan. Seems like Tesla was keeping. Um, well, and my next hand is not much better. At least I have some symbols. I already have both cancels. I still have a Huntsman 6, which is quite nice, but it's not great. So Tesla will start with a maneuver. And now I of course hope that he doesn't just attack Huntsman turn 1, but like takes a more central position and tries to charge up his coils, which would of course be the ideal play for me because then he has to boost on the next turn and I get more time to draw into defense. But well, as we will see, that's not what he's going to do. He is going for an attack on Huntsman. Um, and I think it's the right play, as Tesla definitely want to get rid of him. He goes for an X-Ray, which is one of, if not Tesla's best card in the matchup. Because X-Ray, of course, lets him reveal the top card of the opponent's deck and either discard it for 1 coil or also discard it and also add the boost value for 2 coils. The reason why that is so important is both on offense or defense, that effect is during combat. So if red plays something like a what a big mouth you have on defense, with Pelt on top, of course, so the effect would trigger. X-Ray can during combat reveal something else that has maybe like here a knife symbol, discard that, and now Mouth's effect doesn't trigger anymore because the card is discarded and will replace the top card of the basket. So it's an extremely scary card, and maybe he was a bit scared about taking 3 here with Once Upon a Time on defense, but well, I don't defend, and he actually gets Wolfskin, and definitely also decides to discard that because that's probably Red's best card in the matchup, next to the cancel. Because drawing cards, like I said, is the main thing of this. It's probably the most important thing, just keeping up hand advantage, pressuring the opponent back to make them use their things on defense mostly. So yeah, that's the important part of this one. Not a great interaction for me, but I guess I'm quite happy that it wasn't more damage. I think, like I said, the worst thing that could have happened is action gain into fully charged into dead for Huntsman. So yeah, I at least draw into another wolf skin right now on the maneuver. Um, and since I don't have like anything good to attack with or boost, I just back off again and hope to draw something better on the next maneuver. I put Huntsman back in the red, so Tesla has to boost as much as possible, and I put red on the bridge on the left, just to make Tesla boost even more, because of course if he would boost down there where red went, he would only have to boost for 2. Now he actually can't reach Huntsman at all, except if he boosts like for 4 with Death Ray, which is like that's a win for me, I would assume, in that case, because that's a really scary card. He just decides to double maneuver, charge his calls up, definitely reasonable because he doesn't want to boost that much. Um, I maneuver myself, see that I draw into Once Upon a Time, and now it becomes really interesting because I will probably have to boost here and attack Tesla with red because I don't want to put Huntsman in immediate danger. Just the question is with what? Just looking at my boost values, I could boost with basically anything that's not Once Upon a Time, because I need to move for 4. Um, and for me, the best option right here is to boost probably with the Ears, because, yeah, Ears is a fine card. It's a 4 value attack or defense, depending on which symbol. Um, but it's like nothing special. I think the other cards are just way more crucial, and I could just attack with a basket then. Um, to have the wild card on top and have all the options that I need. Um, just to see like and to react what Tesla does on his turn. So you see me maneuvering here, just quickly scanning over my cards. I actually put Huntsman on this wonderful space there to the in the red, just so that Tesla has to also go in the red next time there. Um, if he wants to attack Huntsman himself, which on the other side means he's like on the complete far right of the board, so I have an easier time moving him to the left again because I'm quite like sure that he will survive the next turn. You see me attacking with Basket here, like I said, just to have the options, and Tesla decides to go for the oh, what is that card name again? I don't remember it. Repulsion Blast, I think. Yeah, I think Repulsion Blast. And he decides to double discharge. So this is quite unfortunate. I mean, he takes 2 damage, but well, he rolls the 1 from the d6, so um, he moves me on top, of course, to get me a bit farther away from Huntsman, so I can't body block as well. He moves himself into the red zone, and my mouth gets discarded, which is a really good card, of course, in the matchup, and a scary card at that, because, well, taking auto damage on defense is always not great, especially for a solo fighter like Tesla with low health, but I mean, he can cancel it and he has X-ray, so it's not the best and not as reliable, but it's still nice for him to see it gone just to not think about it. So he also moved himself into the red zone, which is of course really good because he can attack Huntsman now, but he has no coils. So for me, this is probably one of 2 cards. Either it is the 2, in which case that charges a coil, or 2 coils if he wins combat. In which case I probably want to just defend with Wolfskin, or it could also be the 5. Um, I forgot the name again. I'm not good with card names as often as you think. Where it either charges both coils or discharges both for the healing. Um, in which case I usually would want to play stones. But in this case, I think since Huntsman is already low, um, it's better for me to block the first one with Wolfskin just to have the option of defending the second one with an effect as well, because I know I still have Once Upon in hand. Plus, since I would draw 2, I'd still have the option of drawing into a stones on the second one, because in both cases he will have more coils on the second attack than on the first one, which on the other hand will mean the second attack is probably scarier. So it's better for me to defend the first one, which will probably be like less painful with the draw option, and maybe try to get something better, and also at the same time align the second symbol, than just to go for the damage here on the first one and just hope that he maybe played the 2 and maneuvers away second action. He was still thinking about maybe attacking with something else, um, and I'm just thinking that through right now as well. But yeah, I will actually also come to the same conclusion now. Um, it might be a risky play, and if it is the 5 and he just maneuvers away on the second action, that could be a bit painful, but in that case he would also waste a coil at the end of the turn. So I feel quite good with playing this, and it turns out to be something completely different. It's another Repulsion Blast. Um, I draw my 2 cards, and I draw another Huntsman 6 and the healing. So this tells me 2 things right now. First of all, I can go much more aggressive with red and maybe also take 1 undefended hit because I have 4 healing in my hand, and I want to use it before Huntsman is dead, of course. On the other hand, I also just drew a second Huntsman 6, which for me is like, oh, well, if he will attack me right now again, he doesn't have coils, so he has no way to stop the Once Upon a Time discard, not discard, the Once Upon a Time 3 damage, and I have 2 sixes in hand, so I can deal like a lot of damage with Huntsman right now, so for me, it will be a difficult decision on the next turn, whether I want to go in with Huntsman or not. He actually decides to move Huntsman away, and maybe not. He seems to be a bit undecisive about it. I can see the point of both, because, well, of course he doesn't have coils, so he doesn't want to have Huntsman near him as much, because, well, all sixes are still in play, and he doesn't have great answers to them right now, probably, just from the way he's playing, but he keeps him there, or maybe not, or maybe he will, or not, or maybe he will. Yeah, he keeps him there. Of course, I don't know exactly how his hand was, but I guess it was fine. He decides to take a more central position. Um, he's still in move 2 of Huntsman, which is quite nice for me because I can still go in with a6. I will maneuver first action, of course, and just looking at what I have right now, um, I'm pretty confident with like going in with Huntsman right now because the 6 will usually like deal 3 damage, except if he spends any coils, maybe for a cancel, um, or like, well, he plays another X-ray. Um, so that's pretty good. And on defense, after that, I can block once upon, dealing him another 3, so he'll go down to 6. And even if Huntsman dies in that case, I think I still have the damage to close it out because I have both eyes in hand. I still have 4 auto damage that's guaranteed with Path, and another once upon or a mouth on defense if it should like not be enough at some point. So that's quite nice for me. And just for the case that Huntsman dies on the next turn, I will take the center with red right now, center of the map, which is move 5 from the top left ridge, or at least I'm thinking about it. But ultimately, still decide to go on the spot one further on the right, because Tesla will probably not be able to run through the whole map to the left, so it's quite nice for me. He does play the X-ray and gets another wolf skin with it. So yeah, 2 damage, and I again lose a really good card in the matchup, which is quite unfortunate. But I mean, he spent his call on defense, and it's another X-ray gone that he didn't play offensively into like a mouth or once upon a time. So I guess it's fine overall. It's not a great trade for me. But on the other hand, it also means he spent his call on defense, so hey, Huntsman will probably live this turn. He double maneuvers, backs off a bit, tries to stay away from red more so than Huntsman, at least from his positioning right now. He's still reconsidering it. Not too sure what exactly he had. It's a bit hard to commentate on Tesla's gameplay if you don't know what exactly his cards are, because of course he's really dependent on what his card state is. But he seems to be more scared of red than Huntsman at the moment, which might be reasonable, only having 1 coil, but well, I'll just go in with another 6. He plays a cancel, spends his coil for that. Definitely makes sense. Only takes 1 damage, but again, he spent his coil, which is exactly what I want. He goes for an attack on Huntsman, so again, 2 or 5. It is the 2. He takes 3 damage from Once Upon, which is ideal case for me. He only charged 1 coil and took 3 damage for that. It's perfect. And now attacks Huntsman again. Well, I have no choice other than to take. It's a death ray. He spends his coil, so Huntsman is dead. But I think he put in his work. He dealt a total of 6 damage, and cancel gone, 2 X-rays gone. I think that's definitely doable. Now, for me, is quite a difficult question because Tesla just spent a cancel. He only has 1 coil and 6 health. So just my hand alone right now could kill him technically. I have 2 eyes left, which of course, if played with flowers, both cancel and ignore the value of the opponent's card. So if I get both through, that's already 6 damage that I need if he doesn't heal. So that might already be enough, and chances are he doesn't have a cancel. On the other hand, if he does, I might want to bait it out with something like hands before, or just play basket into it, in which case the cancel would of course be wasted, um, and I still deal 1 damage. So my options are basket, which is just good overall, but it would feel sad if he plays anything but a cancel, because in that case, well, it's just a blank 4. Hands is probably always just decent, because he's low on cards right now. If he plays the cancel, he probably wants to cancel it, so he spends his coil on defense again, which is again good for me. Or I try to gamble with the eyes, seeing as he only has 4 cards in hand, already 1 cancel spent, and well, he will get them eventually, so my thinking right now is, well, if I just let him maneuver away, well, he will have more chances to draw another cancel, because he will maneuver more, draw more cards, so odds are higher that he gets one. So I'm thinking of just going for 1 ice right here, just because the odds are quite low that he has another one. And then after that, I'll try baiting with like hands and basket to get the third cancel guaranteed out of the way, and then go with the second one. At least that's my thought process right now. Um, of course, right now I want to pressure him as much. He's already at 6 health. I don't want to give him room to breathe, build up his hand again, get coils back. And the good thing about ice is, of course, that it also cancels. So if he plays like anything that maybe is like intense experimentation to get his card draw, it would cancel. But it has another polyphase being basically faint. I'll just refer to it as faint. So yeah, sucks to be me in that situation. But I mean, I guess that's one cancel gone. And he spent his coil, so I guess it's fine. I still have enough auto damage left, so yeah, I'll take it. He double maneuvers. Definitely makes sense. He doesn't want to just blankly attack into pelt. I'll maneuver, play or boost with that. Doesn't really change anything. To set flowers back up on top, and now I'm thinking, well, he just played another cancel. Like, what are the odds? And well, it's right this time. So 3 damage. I do also cancel the draw from intense experimentation, which is really important in this situation because, well, Tesla without draw is kind of like a sitting duck at some point. And I still feel quite well on my defensive situation because I have 2 baskets in hand. Tesla only has 1 coil, same amount of cards. And now we're getting to the point where I basically already have lethal because I still have 2 paths left in my deck at some point. And Tesla's only at 3 health, so he will have to recover some health somehow by using his 5 mostly on offense with 2 coils to actually get this health back, and not just instantly die. Of course, I have no way to prevent that, but we'll see. Um, he plays a 7 hertz attacking, spends a call to gain the action, attacks again. And now it's for me the question again, 2 or 5. I only have a basket in hand as second defense, which is definitely suboptimal because I'd rather have like an actual symbol triggering of the first basket and then another one of the second basket. Just playing 2 baskets in a row just feels sad as a little red because you waste that wildcard symbol. Um, and I'm currently thinking, well, if it should be the 5, the print 5, which is like the biggest punish that he could give me right now, he's not using that to heal, which is a plus to me, and I still have 14 health. So I'm currently really thinking about taking this. If it is just the 2, the kinetic induction, I'm totally fine with that. I don't want to waste my basket on that. On defense, definitely not. He would charge his 2 coils anyway, so the winning effect doesn't really do anything. So I'm kind of fine with that. And even if I should take 5 on defense, well, I still have 14 health, so yeah, I'll take it. And it is the 5, so didn't really expect that. But I also like the play from Dani because he knows exactly as I do that I technically have lethal. So Dani has 2 ways out of here. Um, First of all, just maneuvering the whole time, hoping to draw defenses, and then using the 5 once he's at 2 coils again. But at the same time, he also knows that I will continue to apply pressure, so he'll probably have to use his coils on defense if he doesn't like have any way to recharge them. And this way, he instantly gets both back, um, and also dealt me good amount of damage. And of course, now he has 2 calls on defense, which for me is really scary. Um, so I do like the play from him here, um, even though it might not be like the safest option, but I do feel like it's the right way to go. Just giving the circumstance that Red has so much auto damage left, I think he has to apply some counter pressure and actually be scary again, because otherwise this will just be me chasing him, and at some point I will find the damage. So at this point, I see 1-5 is already gone, so 2 paths are almost just fully lethal now. So I think, okay, I just took a large amount of damage. I'd rather also regroup right now, um, and get some things back. Of course, Tesla says, nope, you're not doing that. Maneuvers, boosts, and attacks, and goes for the second 5. I get to roll for the discard, and whoo, that's a good one. I mean, it's not defense, which I probably would have liked to see more, but It's a good one. He, of course, spends his 2 coils to heal, so he's back at 5, path no longer lethal. And now, well, he has 1 card in hand, so I maneuver boost, of course. And I will go for a good old Smackaroni. Now, the question for me right now is, do I go for a attack with hands, basket, or ears? So there are multiple pros and cons to some of them. Um, Hands, of course, would just get itself back, so I could continue to apply pressure on the next turn. On the other hand, it's highly likely that he doesn't have like the best optimal defense at the point right now because he only has 1 card in hand. So maybe going for one of the fours might be better. In that case, I probably want to attack with ears, just for the possibility of his card in hand being intense experimentation, in which case he would be able to draw 3 and maybe double on attack on the next turn. And if I only have 1 card to defend with, um, that might not be as great. Although I could also defend with ears if knife is on top. So I guess it doesn't matter that much. But the good thing is as well, if I attack with ears right now, I purposely threaten mouth on defense. So he sees, yeah, I definitely have pelt there. If basket is there, he's more so thinking about many things, but now I definitely threaten mouth if I attack with ears, which might make him worried even more. And yeah, we'll see. Okay, it's just a kinetic induction, so he takes 2. Charges his coil. Of course, now special ability at the start of Tesla's turn. I take 1 because I'm adjacent, and he can move me 1 space. Not great for me. He can double maneuver, regroup again. Um, I'm thinking about, do I go in again or do I just stay back? But my choice is pretty clear. I, from now on, just have confirmed lethal. 2 paths. He doesn't have any healing anymore. At least just from his own. So I can just chill, sit back. I just have to not die somehow to find the damage. I have high enough boost values and enough knife symbols left. So I'm not feeling scared at all. I just have all the time in the world, so you'll just see me double maneuvering right now. Um, Trying to find path as soon as possible. Tesla, of course, will play against that and back off even more, but that now gives me the time, of course, to move closer towards center without like being in scary attack range. And now, okay, I maneuver and see I draw into Once Upon, which technically is lethal in many cases, except for 2. Um, well, 3. He could block with X-ray on defense and change up the symbol. He could cancel it on defense, or he could play experimentation, in which case he heals 1 before he takes 3 if he spends both coils. So I'm thinking about, do I just boost right now and attack, or do I stay away again? And my thought process at this point was, well, we're getting quite low in deck counts, and there is the chance that paths are buried. And if I get like give him even more time, well, Tesla will find even more tools. He'll find his remote controls and maybe get a good combo turn where he can like do some nasty things with his 2 coils. And I only have 8 health. Only, let's say that. So just looking at my hand, if I go in boost with mouth right now, attack with Once Upon, there's a good chance that I will kill it. If not, he will use one of his key cards, either the cancel with ignore or X-ray, um, or experimentation. So, and then, I mean, I still have basket into stones, into basket, into stones on defense, so I'm feeling quite good. The worst thing that could happen is if he plays like fully charged into a death ray, dealing 3 damage over basket into fully charged again with ignore, which would deal 3 damage over stones. Um, so in that case, I wouldn't die. So I'm feeling quite good. So I mean, losing the mouth of course hurts a bit, but he has so many tools to like make it not work. We're still having an X-ray and ignore, and I mean, I also don't really want to play it into a death ray if he somehow heals up again, or I get to 5 health or lower, because in that case I would just die, which is not great. I'm currently looking and thinking about, well, if he plays X-Ray on defense, what are my left symbols? I have 6 cards left in deck. Um, I still have one Huntsman 6 left in deck. I still have the Knives into the Woods in the deck. I still have one copy of Hands in the deck. I still have one Huntsman here. Um, I still have, let me see, 2 other cards that I totally missed now. Um, some 2 copy card. I remember that I also forgot about it in the game. Oh yeah, I still have Path, of course. So yeah, there's kind of a low chance that I'll actually get to trigger Once Upon, but I feel like if he uses X-Ray on defense, I mean it's fine, I guess. It's okay for me. Um, Not great, of course, but I can live with it. Um, so yeah, and he would have to spend another coil, which means he's not as scary on defense, on the next turn on offense. I mean, so yeah, I guess it's okay. So I do decide to go for the boost with Mouth and go for the attack with Once Upon. And Dani does the right call, going for the experimentation. Heals 1, discharges both coils to draw 3 cards as well. Takes 3, goes down to 1 health, and now probably has everything that he needs. This is his last big turn that he can probably execute, because, well, after that, I mean, I will find some way to deal him 1 damage. Surely, right? He plays fully charged, goes back to 2 coils, and, well, if he maneuvers away, I would be really surprised. He goes for an attack. And, well, I mean, I only have Basket. That's a reasonable defense right now. Worst punish is either the Ignore or, like, X-Ray hitting a 3 boost, or, I guess, Death Ray as a 7. So, yeah, it's okay for me in any case. He does go for the Lightning Storm, which tells me a lot. He spends his 2 coils on it and goes for another fully charged, but just that he attack with Lightning Storms tells me that he has not Death Ray in hand and probably not the Cancel. Just from that, because in those cases I think he would have attacked with it. So Stones now into X-Ray. I get to discard something, which is, haha, another Lightning Storm. Well, that's bad. I only have a 3 value defense now. But hey, he also only gets +1 if he uses it. But it's a path gone, which might matter if, like, the second path is last card, um, in some word. But on the other hand, well, Tesla just used all of his coils and he has no more X-rays um, on defense, so he has no way to block for 4. So I just go for the attack with Basket and GG. And let me tell you, this is the most normal game that we had. All other games were way crazier, with drawing insanely much cards. I also like defended for a blank mouth once trying to catch an X-ray, and it still worked. So there were some really funky things. This is definitely not a traditional matchup where both fighters just like maneuver a lot, go for the safe route. No, this is bang, 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 this matchup. And the funny thing is, I feel like Red can do that better than Tesla, because she just has like better tools to disrupt him with her draw, her symbols, making him worried all the time. Because yeah, Tesla 1 or 2 coiled. That's his only option. Um, Red has so many different things, and I just feel like that's the most decisive point. Plus, Tesla actually having to spend resources on a sidekick rather than Red herself um, is extremely important, because if you in any matchup, if you can just pressure Red herself, make her worried about her defenses and just running away, That's the point where she might crumble. Maybe in a Raptors matchup. Um, they don't really care about Huntsman. They pin red and go unga bunga. Um, in that case, she's really worried she will have to maneuver a lot. But in this one, Tesla can't really just go for red because she has so much auto damage on defense and he's alone with 14 health. So he will probably die before red does because if Huntsman stays alive, she has basically a health pool of 22 just on herself, which is that's a lot. And Tesla will like on every second attack also take damage herself. So it's not a reasonable strategy for him. So just having to go for Huntsman, um, I think in this matchup is just so important because Huntsman can give you a draw with Wolfskim. He can deal all the damage back. He can random discard. It's just so good. And I think it's also the main part that won me this game is getting the value out of Huntsman early. I got two sixes off. I got one wolf spell, wolf skin at least. I got one once upon on defense, which is probably one of the best things because if I have the option to defend for either once upon or stones in this, I go for once upon because I just care about pressure and making Tesla worried. Because that's what wins me the game. If Tesla runs away and just like you saw, has to spend his coils on defenses suboptimally and not actually get to attack that often, that's when Red wins. And on the other hand, if he can somehow kill Huntsman early and then just put all of his aggression, all of his action gain, his coil discharges on offense against Red, that's when Tesla wins. So it's a really cool matchup and just like flows like nothing. It's really cool to watch, at least from my point of view, because there's always something cool happening. Just you boost, attack, 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 whatever. There are like rarely points where both players just run away and double maneuver and do like some lame fatigue game. That's not this matchup. So yeah. Um. Well, that was a way shorter video this time. Only kind of well, we're below 40 minutes. Holy. The last one was like what, an hour? So I guess there might be the option to do other commentary games. Like if there's if the next one is this close again, I'll just probably get a second one in if it kind of was competitively because I of course want to give you some games that represent the matchup quite well. But if we have just some really weird shit, then well, ha, not great to show. But on the other hand, if you want to see those weirder games, I can still do a small commentary on that. Just don't look at them and say, hey, that's what I should do. So tell me if you want to see the other ones. They were insanely weird. Let me tell you that. But yeah, other than that, I just launched the next poll for the next matchup. It seems like right now Dracula versus Wayward Sisters is winning, which was also in the last poll. And since it was really close between that matchup and this one here, I decided to put it up in the poll again. And you guys really seem to like it. It was a cool matchup that I also got to play um, on Team League, so I really like it. And of course, it's with Wayward Sisters and Dracula, two really cool fighters. So go and vote for the next one to see, and please tell me in the comments, do you want to see more games of this matchup? If so, I can do like probably one or more or two more commentaries on the next ones with the disclaimer. Don't watch them and say, hey, that's how you should play it. Um, like every time. So yeah, thanks for watching and definitely vote for the next matchup and then tune in on next Monday. Bye bye.